Dr. Richard Kelly. I'm here at my clinic at Physicians Way in Austin, Texas. I want to talk to you. I spend most of my time at my clinic teaching our patients what athletes and bodybuilders, people who are in the fitness world, what those people already know that you may not know. And the first thing we're going to talk about is eating pattern. One thing that those in the fitness world, people who have the, a lot of folks who are at their ideal weight, they have the muscle definition that they want, they have achieved a certain level of fat loss. One of the things that those people do without fail, almost across the board, is that many of them eat about every 3 hours throughout the day. Now, this is something that may seem like that may seem overwhelming to some people. It may seem unrealistic to some people, but the bottom line is athletes, bodybuilders, and people who have highly efficient metabolism, that's something that they oftentimes create, and they create it by eating in a particular pattern. And most of them will eat about every 3 hours throughout the day and eat about 6 meals throughout the day. They'll wake up in the morning and kickstart their metabolism by eating their first meal, and mid-morning, now meal, snack, these are interchangeable for the most part, but they may wake up in the morning. They typically eat things like egg white, scrambled egg whites, or egg white omelet, something along those lines. Mid-morning might be a protein shake if we're talking about someone who's serious about their fitness. Lunch might be a salad with a grilled chicken breast on top. Mid-afternoon might be a protein shake, or it might be a cup of low-fat cottage cheese and some blueberries. Dinner, this is something that once we get past this mark, this is, say, 4 to 5 p.m. A lot of people at this point in time, especially athletes and people who are very concerned about what their metabolism is doing towards the end of the day, a lot of people at this point in time will start decreasing their carbs. Okay? Now, what are carbohydrates? At least the ones that we might pay attention to from a nutrition standpoint or from a dietary standpoint. This is where you might start backing off of eating white rice, pasta, bread, things that your body very easily converts into sugar and stores as body fat. So if you're really serious about getting your body to a place to where it's utilizing nutrients the way that you want, or the way that you strategically want to guide your body, you might really consider backing off of starchy type of foods that your body very easily turns into sugar and stores as fat. Now, and also, and this is not universally the case, but for most of us, towards the end of the day, this might be 10 p.m. A lot of people are getting ready for bed. This idea of backing off of starchy carbohydrate makes sense, because the last thing that you want to really be giving your body right before you go to bed is something that it easily turns into sugar and stores as body fat. You're about to hit a point in your day where you're about to go to sleep, you're about to reach your lowest metabolic place or your lowest metabolic point, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense to give yourself something that is so easily stored or so easily converted to sugar and stored as fat. And that's what starchy carbohydrates tend to do. If you're not burning them, you're likely storing them. Okay? So the main thing that I want you to take away from this today is that if you want to optimize your metabolism, you really need to be thinking about, number one, how can I wake my metabolism up first thing in the morning? Well, This first meal of the day should be eaten within an hour of rising, and then each subsequent meal after that, you want to shoot for eating about every 2.5 to 3 hours throughout the day. That gives the body a steady stream of nutrients throughout the day. It allows your blood glucose level to become more stabilized, specifically if you're really conscious about the breakdown of your food. And we're going to talk about that as we go along in these videos, about what makes sense to eat here. What's the breakdown here? What do you eat for breakfast? Also, what are you going to snack on throughout the day? What are you going to have for lunch? How are you going to optimize the fuel that you're giving to your body? And that's something that, these are things that people who are really fit and they have, physically speaking, the bodies that they desire or that they've been working towards. And what I mean by that is that people who are serious about developing a certain level of physicality, whether that means they want to become leaner, they want to build more, they want to add muscle mass. These people, generally speaking, and I'm talking again, I'm not talking about the average person out on the street, because the average person out on the street, if you look at most Americans, greater than 65% of all Americans are either overweight or obese. So this is a particular population that I'm talking about: athletes, bodybuilders, people who are in competitive fitness fields. They're thinking about their food every step of the way. They don't leave anything to chance. And so breakfast, their first meal of the day, is going to include something, likely a higher level of protein than what the average American would eat. Next meal might be something supplemental, like I mentioned before. It might be a protein shake. It might be something like a cup of cottage cheese and half of an apple, or a whole apple for that matter, depending on the size of the individual. Lunch and dinner, these two meals, they really focus on making the food that they take into their body the best that it can possibly be. And again, after 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, or at least last 2 meals of the day, many of these people who follow this particular eating pattern, and they're serious about what they're doing, they're serious about how food affects their body, they're going to likely eat in a manner, especially the last 2 meals, that are very strategic as they're entering into a place, metabolically speaking, when they're about to go to sleep, where metabolism